This is Plant-Based Briefing. Cocoa versus cacao versus Dutch processed. What's the difference? And does it matter? By Linda Tyler at forksoverknives.com. And I'm Marian Erickson. This is the Plant-Based Podcast where I curate a variety of articles on plant-based and vegan living and narrate them to you here in about 10 minutes or less every weekday with permission. And I'm pleased to have permission from Forks Over Knives to share their content. So now let's get to today's Plant-Based Briefing. Cocoa versus cacao versus Dutch processed. What's the difference? And does it matter? By Linda Tyler at forksoverknives.com. If you've ever paused mid-recipe wondering, can I use cocoa powder instead of cacao? Or what even is Dutch processed cocoa? You're not alone. These chocolaty powders may look similar, but there are meaningful differences among them, especially when it comes to nutrition and how they perform in recipes. Since many of us reach for one of these powders regularly for smoothies, baked goods, or no-bake treats, it's worth understanding what sets them apart and when to choose one over the others. Can you swap cocoa powder for cacao? What about Dutch processed? Let's clear up the most pressing question first. In most recipes, smoothies, chia pudding, nice cream, raw brownies, and many baked goods, you can use cacao powder, natural cocoa powder, and Dutch processed cocoa interchangeably. But there's one important exception: recipes that rely on baking soda as the sole leavening agent. Baking soda is naturally basic. It needs acid to activate and produce lift. Natural cocoa powder is acidic enough to react with baking soda and help baked goods rise. The acidic profile of cacao powder can vary significantly, and Dutch processed cocoa is actually neutral, so they won't activate baking soda on their own. If you use Dutch processed cocoa or cacao powder in a recipe that relies on baking soda, you'll need to include a small amount of acid, such as a teaspoon of vinegar or lemon juice, to ensure proper leavening. This isn't an issue in recipes that also include baking powder, which already contains its own acid. In those cases, the baking powder provides the leavening boost, so the cocoa's acidity, or lack thereof, matters less. How each powder is made. All three powders start with fermented cacao beans, but their processing methods differ, affecting both the flavor and their nutritional content. Cacao powder is made by cold pressing raw fermented cacao beans to remove most of the fat, or cocoa butter. This minimal processing helps preserve more of the beans' original nutrients. Some brands are not truly raw. The beans are lightly roasted before pressing. Natural cocoa powder, often called just cocoa powder on product labels, is made by roasting fermented beans at 250 degrees Fahrenheit to 350 degrees before pressing out the cocoa butter. Roasting mellows the flavor but reduces the number of antioxidants. And Dutch processed cocoa begins as natural cocoa powder but is treated with an alkaline solution to neutralize its acidity. This results in a darker color, smoother flavor, and reduced bitterness, but also a significant loss of antioxidants. Flavor differences. The flavor differences can be subtle. I'm a professional recipe developer, and I, for one, can't taste much difference among the three types of powder in the recipes I make. But here's a general breakdown. Cacao powder is bold, somewhat bitter, and earthy. Natural cocoa has a strong, slightly acidic, classic chocolate flavor. And Dutch pressed cocoa is the smoothest and mildest taste with less bitterness. Flavor also depends on factors like the type of bean used, roasting method, and degree of alkalization. Which is healthiest? Cacao powder is often marketed as the healthiest option, and lab tests show it contains significantly more flavonoids and polyphenols than natural cocoa. However, the degree to which these nutrients are absorbed and utilized by the body compared with those in natural cocoa remains an open question. One thing is clear from research. The alkalization process used in Dutch processing destroys 60% or more of natural cocoa powder's antioxidants. If antioxidant content is your priority, cacao comes out on top, followed by natural cocoa powder. Dutch processed cocoa ranks last by a wide margin. Health benefits of cocoa powder. In How Not to Age, Michael Greger, MD, FACLM, highlights the potential health benefits researchers have found for natural cocoa powder with special relevance for aging populations. Clinical studies suggest that natural cocoa powder may help to reduce inflammation and oxidative stress, boost levels of brain-derived neurotrophic factor or BDNF, a key protein for brain health, improve muscle mass, grip strength, and physical function in older adults, support skin elasticity, thickness, density, and hydration while reducing wrinkle depth, and improve visual sharpness. Several studies show that Dutch-processed cocoa did not lead to the same health benefits. While most of these studies focus on natural cocoa powder rather than cacao, the findings suggest that adding natural cocoa powder or cacao powder to your diet, in most cases 2 to 3 teaspoons a day, can be a small but powerful health upgrade. Shopping and storage tips. When shopping for cacao, cocoa, or Dutch-processed cocoa powder, check the label closely to see exactly what you're getting. It's not always apparent at first glance. Choose a brand with no added sugar or dairy. For cacao powder, try Navitas Organics or Terrasol Superfoods. Both offer rich, minimally processed options. For natural cocoa, Hershey's is budget-friendly, while Ghirardelli adds depth. For Dutch-processed, Valrhona delivers exceptional flavor and rich color. Once home, store cocoa powder in an airtight container in a cool, dark place, such as a pantry. Avoid the refrigerator, which can introduce moisture and cause clumping. Stored properly, cocoa powder stays fresh for up to 2 years without losing its flavor or potency. Bottom line, while cacao powder boasts the highest antioxidant levels, natural cocoa powder remains a savvy, well-rounded choice for everyday use. It's more budget-friendly, easy to find, and still packs a respectable antioxidant punch. Its natural acidity makes it a better match for baking, and its rich, familiar flavor shines in everything from brownies to homemade fudge sauce. You just listened to Cocoa versus Cacao versus Dutch Processed. What's the difference, and does it matter? By Linda Tyler at forksoverknives.com. And I'm Marian Erickson, your host. I didn't know any of this, so hopefully you find this interesting as well. And please share this episode with anyone who might benefit, and thanks for listening.